My name is Erin Colley, and I am presenting over Module 5 Group Work from A Handbook for Classroom Management That Works. Group work is a valuable classroom tool for many reasons. It not only allows for cooperative learning opportunities, but also for students to improve and grow in many ways. Students are able to build relationships with their classmates and learn to work together effectively. They are also given the opportunity to learn to express themselves clearly so that they are understood, as well as to listen to and compromise with their peers, to value others' ideas, and to become leaders in various forms. Group work allows students to learn to work with others and simulates real-life situations that students will be faced with many times in their lives. When using group work in the classroom setting, it is extremely important to set up rules, procedures, and expectations for students. First, establishing rules and procedures for moving into and out of groups is important. For instance, when preparing my students to move to group assignments, I make sure that they know what group they are going to. Sometimes I number them off, other times I post a list of group members on the board and which seating group they are moving to. I also make sure students know to listen until I say, "Okay, go," before they are allowed to move to their new seat or group. In addition, it's important to set expectations for the behavior and focus of the groups. It is important to set these expectations before beginning the group work so that students know what types of behaviors are acceptable and unacceptable for the task at hand. If we don't tell them, they won't know. In the text, Marzano and the other authors mention many ideas for setting up rules and procedures for moving into and out of groups. Much like I mentioned in the previous slide, the authors explain that having a signal, cue, or a magic word or phrase that lets students know it is time to move is a good idea. Other ideas would be that teachers use points for the groups that are the first to be on task. In addition, it is important to make sure students know where they are headed as they move to their new group. Posting groups and seat placements on the board or projector is a good way to facilitate this. Another option is to have a seating arrangement that is easily turned into groups or pairs so that students know where their group is without having to move desks or seats, which minimizes disruptions to your classroom. Another area that is very important for the success of group work in the classroom is setting expectations for behavior and focus. It is important that we let students know what we expect of them before starting the group work. A culture of mutual respect is important during group work. Our text suggests that middle and high school teachers set up behavior objectives and post these in the classroom. I have not done this before, but I really like this idea. I usually state my expectations aloud and sometimes jot notes down on my Promethean board, but a formal list of objectives posted in my classroom would make the expectations more concrete for students. The text also suggests using self-assessment forms so that students can rate themselves on how they feel they did during the group work session. I have used self and group evaluations during Socratic seminars, and it seemed to be effective, so I think this could be an effective method for group work as well. I also like to ask my sophomores after an activity, without naming names, what was successful or not successful about this activity. And I usually get really helpful feedback from my students as they realize, we were too loud, we didn't take turns, not everyone participated, and I usually see improvements in the next session. In the text, the authors provide several versions of a self-assessment form based on behavioral objectives. They provide one for direct instruction, working with a partner, working in groups, and working individually. I posted a picture of the self-assessment form from the text for working in groups since that is my focus here in this presentation. The form lists the behavioral objectives set ahead of time. It then asks students to rate their own performance based on those objectives, with 1 being not there yet and 4 being I behaved at top performance. It also allows students a space to write their reasons below each objective. I think this could be helpful when working with my high school students, as I believe many of them would be honest and provide reasons why they felt they did well or explanations for why they did not do so well. The forms for direct instruction, working with a partner, and working individually are all set up exactly the same as the group work form, The only difference is the behavioral objectives that are expected of students during each of these times. I did some searching for a more elementary-friendly self-evaluation form for group work, and I found this one on Teachers Pay Teachers. This version still lists the behavior objectives, but gives students a happy face, neutral face, or sad face to choose from for their self-assessment of each. At the bottom, it also provides space for students to explain what they feel they did well and what things they could improve upon. Group. Another important tip for group work is to make sure that students are aware of the actual purpose of working in their groups. Posting the objectives is an effective way to help students know what they are supposed to be doing. Teachers can list the topic, special instructions, and the end result that is expected for each group. It is also recommended to set a group leader for each group work session and to rotate this role so that everyone has a chance to be the leader. Something I have found useful is to use job roles for group members. I have used reader, recorder, speaker, timekeeper, among others, depending on what type of activity we are completing. It's important that students also understand what is required for each role, so posting those expectations is essential. In addition, I went through Kagan training a few years back and used to use the Kagan strategy of manage mats with numbers on each desk. This makes it easy to pair students up with face partner, shoulder partner, match with your A or B partner, but it also allows the teacher to say, okay, the person in the number 1 spot, grab the materials, or number 2, you're going to be reading this aloud. Here are some images I found that show some options of group roles and then a sample manage mat from the Kagan structures. While I was searching, I found many different types of roles that could be set for groups depending on the age of students as well as the purpose of the group work. In this video, we see teachers who use group work to assist with creating equity in the classroom and to help all students be successful. The teachers show the importance of posting norms for group work, assigning roles for each student within the group, and reminding students of expectations. Finally, here are the resources I used to complete this presentation. Thanks so much for watching.